Welcome to Olio, my show. My name is Susan Rushton, and before we begin, I need to explain, as always, what Olio is short for. It stands for Olla Podrida, which is Spanish for rotten bowl, which I always get such a kick out of. It's a Spanish/Portuguese dish with essentially everything in the world in it. Pork in all its iterations, pig's ears, pig's feet, sausage, bacon, etc. Chicken, chickpeas, cabbage, carrots, beans, pig's ears, I said that, onions and garlic. In other words, everything in the world except raisins and maple syrup. That's why I call this show Olio, because all my guests, the subject matter is everything in the world except one or two things. Anyway, that's my show. My guest today is Lindsay Arfston, who is Executive Director of the Auburn Senior Center. Welcome. And I hope you are one of the many who appeared at the Taste of the Foothills fundraiser on Thursday at the beginning of November 2022. And I'm hoping there's going to be another next year.
Absolutely.
And the year after that. That was a tremendous, really fun, delightful, packed, delicious event. It's amazing. I hadn't been to the one in 2019 before COVID, and Dave Johnson said, "Listen, you need some tickets. Come buy them. Come buy them now." What prompted you to do that?
Well, the Senior Center had tried to put on the event earlier in the spring, and the tickets price was a little bit higher. I think it was $40 instead of $25, and they had a little trouble selling the tickets, so they had to cancel the event. And that's really our biggest fundraiser of the year. So in order to have the funds for next year for the workshops and the classes, we needed to make sure that we pulled off a great fundraiser and made lots of money to help us next year.
Yeah.
We're not supported by the government by any kind of funding, so it's just our membership and our classes, which is really super affordable.
Yes, I want to talk about that, but and I can also imagine that the spring was a little too close to COVID.
Maybe.
People were not not ready yet.
That could have been part of it too. I'm not sure because I wasn't there then.
Okay, so when did you arrive?
I began the job on June 30th. And I had one day of training from the old executive director, or not even a day, like maybe 4 hours, and then she was gone because she got COVID.
Oh dear!
And then she went on a cruise, and so the whole training.
Oh well.
I know, it was funny.
That's it. Bye bye.
That's it. Like 4 hours. I thought I'll learn it. I'll do it.
Yeah. And you clearly are with that Taste of the Foothills. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Smashing success.
Now, why did you say yes to the job? What were you looking for?
I was looking for a creative role with lots of people and variety and a chance to make an impact on people, and so that's why I chose it. It's a lot of my girlfriends just say, "Oh, that's the perfect job for you, Lindsay." when I tell them what it is, first when I say the senior center, they think that people live there. And I say, no, it's just activities. It's a place where people go to have fun and learn things. And that's so perfect for you.
A place for people to go have fun and learn things.
And that's what I'm all about. I like to have fun, and I like to learn things. So.
Great.
Yeah.
So before I forget, because I know I would, the Senior Center is at 11960 Heritage Oak Place in North Auburn. Left on Bell when you're going north, and then left again, and straight on till morning. And they have a website, auburnseniorcenter.com, and a phone number, 530-823-8172. And you're talking about excitement, about interests, about events, about organizations, about stuff that people do there. Examples.
Examples of what people do. Well, every day, Tuesday through Friday, because we're closed on Mondays, we have classes all day, every hour in different rooms of the senior center. Like when I left, there was a strength training class going on, and then later.
I'm sorry, a what?
Strength training class.
Strength
Training. With like little
Oh,
weights
yeah.
and stuff.
Okay.
And the instructor, she's just dynamite, positive, cute as anything. And she just gets, it's a very well attended class. She's just great. And then later we have a cooking class and a ukulele class. And so each day there's different classes.
Okay.
From learning classes like conversational Spanish, or creative classes like art, or classes where you can just connect with people, like to to knit and just sit around and talk to everybody. And like I can overhear people in classes just really sharing their lives, and it's just like kind of like a group therapy sometimes with women in there. It's like getting together as your best friends weekly, and it's fun for them. Yeah, so every day there's a lot of classes, and then we have different workshops every month too. And the workshops are really helpful for folks. Like we have disaster preparedness, we have classes on caretaking, for dementia, like those members or their spouses have dementia. We have class or workshops on right sizing your life. You kind of down.
Excuse me, right
sizing.
Right
so
sizing.
say somebody, your spouse dies, and you're left in a big home with lots
all
of
this
stuff.
stuff everywhere in all the closets and in the
it's
garage.
like what to do.
Oh,
You
goodness.
just need help
Yeah.
with that, And there's lots of classes on computers, learning iPhone, learning how to do photos on the iPhone, Android phones. So there's a lot of tech classes just so seniors can feel more confident with their phones and staying connected to loved ones and everything through, that kind of thing. And we have scam classes, like so seniors don't get scammed. We have a variety of people that put that on, from even like the detectives through the California state come in, and they tell you the exact things that are going on right now, phone scams and everything. So it's really up to date, so you don't get
Just
caught.
because it's a friendly voice doesn't mean they're friendly.
Yeah, just really tricky things. Like they're just so tricky. So that's helpful. I mean, and then we have, like today we have an AARP class. It's a driving class, so it's for people to come in and get a lesson on driving and their reactions and to prevent accidents. And if they go through this workshop, then they get a reduced insurance rate through AARP.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have free legal services twice a month. A lawyer comes in, she volunteers her time and meets with people for 20 minutes. And then coming up in the spring, we have free taxes for seniors.
Yes.
And so that brings in like 1,500 people a year. And
that's wonderful.
And that's sometimes the first time they find out about the senior centers, because they come for the free taxes, free tax service. I met with the guys that are going to come in, and they're all set to go again. They volunteer their time. It's just so nice how many people step up to help. The class instructors, there's only a couple of them we pay, and the workshop leaders, and we don't charge the members either. It's like a donation for the workshops.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for the AARP one, there was like a $30 charge, but a lot of it's just so affordable for seniors.
Sure.
Which
Yes,
makes it
this
great.
is amazing. Now, this is an organization that one needs to join, correct? So what does that mean?
That means that one person would pay $25 for a whole year. And two people, like if it was husband and wife, it's $40. So there's a little bit of a discount there, and that gets you the membership to come to the workshops all year long. And then the classes are usually like $5 for classes. So there would be that additional, payment for the senior center.
Yeah. I'm sure I will get back to that, and I'm wondering if the senior center has not always been where it is now.
No,
right?
no.
Where did it used to be?
Well, it started in 1980, so it's been around for 40 years. It started at the DeWitt Center.
Okay.
And they had a huge
that
location.
Gigantic, wonderful place. Yeah.
Right, and so that was built way back then. And they were there for many, many, many years until Costco was going to come in and take that place.
Darn, Costco hasn't come in yet.
So Costco didn't come in. But we moved to downtown Auburn.
500, 550
on High Street, I think.
Where Old Town Pizza is now. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we were there for a little while until we had to shut down entirely for COVID for about a year and a half, and then we just opened up on Heritage Oaks just a year ago. In October, it was 1 year. So it's fairly new where we are.
And it looks pretty big. It looks like it's airy. It's vast. Not as vast as.
I heard the other one was so big. So.
But there's plenty of room for plenty of people.
There is. There's lots of classrooms that we have, meeting rooms and media rooms, and our art room and our kitchen, and it's a big place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now,
great.
What are one of some of the major league things you do there? In addition to figuring out this fabulous taste of the foothills?
Well, it'd be creating new classes. I have our front desk volunteers call every single member and ask them a whole bunch of questions about what kind of classes they like, what they'd like to see, how many people would like to see Tai Chi. I can't even say it, Tai Chi, but I think that's it, Tai Chi. I always talk about the Chai Tea, and what about yoga, and what about there's lots of different examples, as well as travel. What kind of travel would seniors like to do, and that gives me a starting point to find new teachers. So that's
now,
what we're
when you
doing.
say travel, what do you mean?
Well, the old senior center used to put on great travel trips, to the United States and to even Europe and local trips. And when I go out into the public and set up, a table at the fair or other places, people ask when the travel's coming back. And I say soon, I'm working on it, because I have no idea how I should start something like that. But I've had some different travel companies approach me and say, we know how to work with seniors, we know their special needs and their comforts and their walking, and we want to partner with you. And so I'm getting that going.
Well, wonderful.
So, it's just trying to add value all the time for seniors. We're starting, today I just started planning the Thanksgiving lunch that we're doing, which I should have planned sooner, but the Taste of the Foothills took all my time. So it's in 2 weeks, but that's okay. I guess they say it's
tradition. You can handle that.
Yeah, I know. Now it's only for 40 people compared to, 200, so I think that's easier.
Okay.
Yeah, so new events, new workshops, just adding value for seniors is what I do.
Why do you think the senior center is important?
Well, because it's a place for seniors who are new to town to come meet people. We've had people that have just retired up here, and they're looking for friends. It's a place for people to learn about benefits and save money, because we have workshops on Medicare benefits and Medi-Cal and veterans benefits. And if you don't know what you could be doing to help your income. And it's a place for just people to go to have social. With the isolation with COVID and everybody just being afraid to go out and talk to people.
Yes.
That is just, humans need other humans.
Yeah.
To be happy and to be fed and to laugh and to look forward to, when they have one class, that's their whole day, and they look forward to it, and they look forward to the people that are going to be there, and it's just really good morale, and that adds a lot to the health for seniors.
Yes.
So
you mentioned earlier about all these technical classes.
Yes.
I'm remembering. I love this story. Or no, I don't. I don't. I really don't love this story, but it's helpful. When I was 17 or 20 or something like that, I needed to make a phone call, and there was a phone booth, and there was a woman about my age now, in front of me. She was standing and looking at the telephone, and which had buttons instead of
the dial. Right.
She looked at it and looked at it and finally left.
Oh.
Okay, here I am, I'm young, I know, okay, I guess if I do this, I get it. But that woman didn't have the I can imagine then that woman didn't have the access that is the information that is available now at the senior center.
That's true.
Oh my, and that just happened, bang, just like that, for her, and just like different. Here's a new thing. What do I do with it? And meanwhile, the minute I figure it out, something else is coming all the time. And youngsters, oh well, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, they just figure it out.
Oh yeah, but and sometimes a woman who is 71 doesn't have a 7-year-old around or a 13-year-old around to
or
figure this out. And that's one of many options available at the senior center.
It's wonderful because say they have family members, that live far away, they can learn how to FaceTime and see their grandkids, or they can send and receive photos. So they can just stay in touch a lot more than you could, unless your relatives live around the corner or something. So it adds connection when you can use your phone to the full capacity.
Right.
So I like that. It's just helping people be happier.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah. So back to Thanksgiving. We're hoping to have this show be available before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But this is a basic, ordinary, typical, next year this is going to happen, 2023, silver screen, no. The senior center is going to have Taste of the, no, it's going to have Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So how does that work? If you're a member, you have to say, yes, I'm coming? Or, okay.
I just put together the flyer this morning before the show, and I said, please, the event will be November the 17th. It's a Thursday.
Okay.
November 17th from 12 to 2. And then on the flyer I said, please RSVP. And gave the center phone number and RSVP by the 16th.
Okay.
Because I think the max people we can have is 40 to 45. And I still need to call and try and figure out the food for it. I just can.
Lots of work.
I thought I'd hit up all the chefs that came to the Taste of the Foothills, not all of them, a couple of them, and see if they wouldn't mind helping again. Because that's what some of the members or the volunteers that have been around years and years, they say that's where they get the food, Lindsay. Just do that. You don't have to cook the turkey.
No, you don't. Somebody else is going to do that. You're planning it.
I'm planning on it working out. So it's going to be great. We'll decorate, and it's just a tradition from what I've been told. So we need to keep that going and figure out a Christmas kind of lunch too.
Yeah.
So I'll figure that out.
Yes. Okay, I'm talking to Lindsay Arfston, Executive Director of Auburn Senior Center. If you're interested in the organization or want to learn more, they have a phone number, 530-823-8172, and they have a website, auburnseniorcenter.com, and of course they have an address, 11960 Heritage Oak Place in North Auburn. What were you doing before you came to the senior center?
Well, before the senior center, I worked for an HVAC and solar company as a human resource manager in marketing. Both. It was a small company because my whole background is in human resources.
So human resources. Have you done lots of human resource stuff?
Oh, I have. I was the human resource manager for the Men's Warehouse in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And I was human resource manager for Blockbuster Video and human resource manager, for the HVAC company.
So everything you've been doing is getting you ready for this.
It has been, it's great. I mean, I've really wanted a job like this since before I had kids, because I was a stay-home mom for a lot of years too, and didn't work. But I was so involved with the school and the PTA that the principal said I should just get a cot and live there. I thought, that's a bad sign I'm overdoing. But I was putting on assemblies, and I don't know. It's just I like to be challenging myself and doing things. So
clearly,
I know it's embarrassing, but
I don't think so. Not at all. The organizations need people who have
To step up.
ideas,
Yeah.
who have enthusiasm, who want to know what people want. That's vital. Thank you.
Sure.
That's really important. And
Yeah, and I've been I'm an artist too, so I've been working at a school for kids that have learning disabilities and teaching them art and doing paintings for the school and murals for the school, and been really involved with that too prior to my job. So.
And where do you live?
I live in North Auburn, 5 minutes away.
She lives in Auburn. She's an Auburnite. How long have you lived in Auburn?
Just 3 years.
Just 3 years, and oh my.
Yeah, I love my house. I love Auburn. I feel lucky to be here.
And oh my goodness, that's just tremendous. Somebody who loves Auburn, loves children, loves arts, loves people, and knows how to organize things.
Yeah, the event was very well organized. I had a minute by minute script of who's going to be where, saying what for the whole staff, for the whole committee. Including bathroom check, and taking out the garbages during the event and just everything to just make sure it flowed, and the parking to make sure people weren't frustrated when they first got there because they couldn't find parking. So I had 4 people
I did notice that.
I had 4
noticed
people
that
out
immediately.
doing the parking because it can get frustrating if you can't find a spot and you're feeling you're rushed and then you got to stand in line to get in the door. So I really tried to think of everything to make it flow as best I could.
The event, Taste of the Foothills, was at the where?
It's the Auburn Veterans Memorial Hall. On East Street.
East Street, and there are parking lots to the right, parking lots ahead and behind, parking lots to the left before you get there. And I saw people parked in front of Josephine's, parked everywhere, and what am I going to do? And then, but I turned in there anyway, and there was this guy saying, "Go here, just go here." And there's places there, and he probably was counting how many cars went in at the time.
Exactly. We had asked all the dentist offices and the Odd Fellows and everybody around, "Can we use your spots the night of the 3rd? Because we're going to need them."
What did they say?
They said absolutely.
Of course.
Super nice. Everybody's super nice. I mean, even asking for donations or asking for chefs or alcohol donations, wine and beer. Just either I got lucky or just everybody was just so nice to offer for me. In this building here at Atwood, there's Rebellion Beer. They're downstairs, and they donated their super cool craft beer, and that just went in a snap because it was great. And the labeling on the cans is super artistic, and she was Ariel. Yeah, she was just forthcoming and with, "Sure, I'll donate beer. Great, thank you." And Tap and Vine donated wine and Rescue Dogs wine. It was just nice because our bar income was $900. So, which since we didn't have to pay for the alcohol, that was just $900 to us. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Yes, it's wonderful.
It's a big deal. If you think of how many memberships, $25 a person. So how many people would have to join to earn $900? It's a lot of people.
Yes.
So $900 from the bar was great.
Yes. And you're being here 3 years. It isn't necessarily, well, I've been here about 30, and every time I turn around, I hear stories like this, like what you've told me. I was interviewed too in that you were interviewed, the guy who had the TV show at the Taste of the Foothills.
Eric.
Had he had an assistant interview me. And what do you think? Blah, 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 blah. And I said, "What do you think about?" She said, "What do you think about this event in Auburn?"
Anna, yes, she asked you. I didn't know that.
And I said, "This is a small town. It's a wonderful place. It's a great community. It's a small town, but we have big hearts."
It's true.
And I had never thought of it that way, but
Mhm.
there it came.
Mhm.
This is a small town, but we have big hearts.
Yeah, because even Eric volunteered all that time and
Yes.
set up all his equipment and lined up people to interview,
Mhm.
and he's going to send me footage, and just because he wants to help. How
Yes.
great is that?
Yes, it really
Yeah.
is.
It is. I'm so thankful for everyone.
Yeah. I just love this place. Um, is there a question that I
Mhm.
haven't asked that you'd like me to ask?
Did you ask me how long I've worked there?
This is 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
such a short time. It sounds like a long time. And Eric said that in the spring he'd like us to work with the Auburn Winds and do like a spring music event with the senior center. So I'm looking forward to that. And we haven't met about that yet, but
So it's still a secret, so we
it's
can't
still
talk
a secret.
about it. So
But doesn't
maybe
that
we
sound nice?
yes,
Like-
yes, it
like
does.
music and
Auburn Winds. It
The
sounds
Auburn
wonderful.
Winds with the senior center and some kind of other fundraiser. So I'm excited about the possibilities with that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Some sort. But what would it be? How would the senior center be involved?
I don't know. I would think that maybe the cost of the tickets would go to the senior center and they would volunteer their time, or it would be split, or we would do some more, I don't know, raffles or auctions or something at the event. I don't know. I'm sure Eric has good ideas because he's always thinking for me. He wants to set up music to my art and have a YouTube on that, and he comes up with all sorts of things. So
Have you seen her face when she thinks about things that are upcoming and
Possibilities.
That's, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
What else?
I like creative things. What else? The other thing that's super exciting right now is I am part of the Auburn Leadership Program. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Auburn. So the Chamber of Commerce does a year-long leadership
Oh,
program.
of course. Yes. You're involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking that.
Just started, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
and
keep
everybody
missing that.
says it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I met a lot of people. There's about 25 people in our class, and I invited them to the event, the Taste of the Foothills, and a lot of them came. That felt great. But I have so much to look forward to learn about Auburn.
Yes.
Because we've had one day, and we went to the courthouse, and we went all over Auburn and learned the history and the ghosts and the women's jail, and
Yeah.
it was fascinating.
Yeah.
So it just makes me understand Auburn and love Auburn and feel like I know stuff that other people don't know. It's just kind of fun.
Sure.
And so we have one this month coming up, and every month we'll have a get together.
Sure.
And so I'll feel like have the understanding to be a leader, having a job and going through the program as
Yeah.
a leader.
Yes.
So
Good.
yeah, so those are exciting things for me.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
What about new things for the senior center?
New things. Well,
Some of your ideas.
The first idea, and I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to go out, is to try to get businesses to sponsor a monthly amount to the senior center to help cover our rent. Because we are destined to close actually after 40 years because of our lack of money. I mean, to be honest. So it's as great as it all looks. We just don't have enough money to each month to stay open.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, so I can't feel like I'm really that successful until I solve that problem.
Yeah.
Because the classes are only $5, the membership's $25,
Uh-huh.
and the rent's $4,000. So there's just not even enough to cover rent. And when
Right.
Costco was going to come in, and then they bowed out, they gave us, I think at the time, years and years ago, several $100,000, and that's just when, keeping us afloat for month to month. But every month we go into our reserves,
Wow.
so we're going to run out.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I need to focus on.
Okay, so I'm talking to Lindsay Arvston. Thank you very much for being my guest.
Sure.
I hope you figure out a way to get the money.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm tickled to have talked with you.
too.
If you want to learn more, phone 530-823-8172. or log on to auburnseniorcenter.com, or just go to 11960 Heritage Oak Place in North Auburn. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for being my guest.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.